YouTube, what is going on? I'm gonna do this quick video because I gotta get back out to work. I know I always say like, oh, these are gonna be quick videos. They had to be like 30 minutes long because I just keep talking. But right now, I genuinely, I'm so down bad, dude. I gotta get back out to work. So this is gonna be 10 minutes top. If I go over 10 minutes, I'm just cutting it off with whatever I'm talking about. We'll make other videos later. But I just briefly want to talk about semen retention again. And the fact that, dude, complete catastrophe happened after relapsing on 250 plus days of semen retention. That's what I made it to. I think it was even higher. I don't even remember exactly where it was because this was like over a month ago. I just haven't really been talking about semen retention or whatever. But I literally made it to 250 plus days. I think it was like 270 or 280 even days of semen retention. And then I relapsed. And dude, it's like every time I want proof that semen retention works, the relapse is just the best proof. Because there's no way your life turns into an absolute disaster right after you relapse. And that's just a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences, like at all. There's some people that are like, oh, this whole universe existing is a coincidence because the DNA magically formed itself and all, and the Big Bang it just magically, coincidentally. I don't believe that. Like, come on, dude. Like, if you believe if one thing happens and another thing simultaneously happens, maybe you could say like that's a coincidence. But if you're talking like X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if you're talking in the tones of dozens or even millions, like DNA creating itself by chance, come on, dude, that's not a coincidence. It's designed by God. This whole universe, the human being, the brain, the heart, the DNA, everything is designed by God. It's not a coincidence. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So whenever these certain things happen and I'm just like, this isn't a coincidence, it just verifies that semen retention is 100% true. So as I was saying, I didn't plan on my mom walking out in the middle of the video, but I love you. I gotta get into that too. So if it wasn't for her, I'd be hopeless. But now I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah. Oh yeah, semen retention. So I relapsed, and just complete catastrophe struck. Now, what is the most significant one? This car I'm sitting in, I literally lost it. I lost the engine. So I made it 270 whatever amount of days it was, and then I was so horny. That's the thing about semen retention. If you get on these high streaks, 100 days, 200 days, whatever, your urges are going to be through the roof. And here's my number one lesson on semen retention through this haul: do not edge, no matter what. Edging is the number one worst thing you can do on this journey. Because you might think in your head, oh, I'm not relapsing. I'm only edging. I'm beating it right until I am going to relapse, but then I don't. So, it doesn't count. What that's going to do is you're just going to keep charging it up. You're going to keep charging up your horniness because you have so much energy. If you're transmuting that literally in just edging, masturbating on these dating apps and whatever, watching porn, whatever it may be, you're just gonna make everything way worse. That's what happened to me. The most horny I've ever been in my life. 250, 270 plus days of semen retention. So I literally couldn't take it anymore. Like, I literally couldn't take it anymore. I mean, I was looking, like, I could look at a tree and I was like, dude, if that tree looks thick enough, dude, I'm about to tear that tree up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, you get horny over inanimate objects almost. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how horny you get. But that's if you're edging. If I wasn't edging, I mean, I was edging. I don't even remember at this point. but it was days, weeks leading up to my eventual relapse. But it was just a terrible amount of urges that I could not control. And so eventually I gave in, fornicated with this girl, and then literally you can't make this up. You can't make it up. That following week, I had this oil, the oil light was on my car, so I knew I needed to get an oil change, but I just didn't want to do it because I was putting it off. I was being lazy. I was procrastinating. And then eventually, long story short, I literally lost the whole entire car, the engine. Why? Because literally, it's the craziest thing ever. I don't even know how this is possible. The oil cap, just the little screw, a $4 screw, fell off as I was driving. I was doing a DoorDash all the way, of course, it was 30 minutes away. I never drive up north towards the big city 30 minutes away. But in this case, I got worked up there. So then by the time I got up there, literally like it fell off on the highway. I heard a noise. I just heard a crunch, and I said, what was that? Did I just run over something? I just heard some noise. This is weird. And then eventually, a couple of minutes later, this oil light comes on, or check engine. It says check engine. But by then it was too late. Because then a little while later, long story short, I said, I'm trying to make this quick. Dude, the car literally just, I said, whoa, what's going on? What's going on? It can't be that low on oil. Because the oil light had come on, but usually you have miles, you have plenty of time to be like, all right, my oil's low, I just gotta top it up or do an oil change, whatever. In this case, it was like the oil light came on, and then a couple minutes later, the check engine light came on, and I had no clue what was going on because I didn't know that little thing fell off. The thing fell off, and then the car was literally, and then I got to this red light. You know, thankfully it wasn't like in the hood or in a dangerous area, but this was like 9 o'clock at night or something like this. This was, I think it was July 4th, the night of July 4th. Everybody's doing fireworks and everything. I'm sitting there at a red light. It literally, I'm pressing on the gas. It's done. The car's done. And of course, once again, this is like a 15 or 12, 14, something like that, dollar DoorDash. So this is a big, high-paying DoorDash, and I'm literally just sitting there. I'm 35 minutes away from my house. I'm sitting there like, I don't know what to do. And then eventually I had to call my brother. He had to drive all the way up there. He brought some oil. We poured it in the oil, and then I noticed it just went straight through. All the oil we poured in leaked right out, and I still didn't know. I was like, dude, what is going? We're gonna have to get it towed. So I got it towed, brought it back to the house, and then I was finally able to go under there and look. And sure enough, I noticed. I was starting to think. I was like, dude, I think maybe the bolt, whatever that's called, the screw, the oil cap, whatever that's called, the oil bolt, it fell off. That's why all the oil went out. And sure enough, I looked under there, the bolt was missing. So then, long story short, the whole car was totaled. Like, it was like the engine was done. Because we went and got a diagnosis, towed the car over to some dealership or some mechanic, and they're like, yeah, the engine's done. And then I was researching, and sure enough, it says if you drive without oil in the car, even for a little bit, it could destroy the whole entire engine. So I'm looking up, engine cost repair, $5,000, $6,000, whatever. So luckily, I was able to get this fixed for only like $3,500. We found a very trustworthy mechanic, and I was able to get it fixed. But dude, that's literally like, you can't make this up. I relapsed the following week. I'm sitting there procrastinating. I'm just like, I don't want to do an oil change. If I literally would have just went to get the oil change, would have made sure everything's tightened up and good to go, like, dude, I would have saved $3,500, dude. Like, I literally lost the engine. I had to get the engine replaced. And then, so that was like July 4th. I had relapsed for the first time, which, oh my goodness, I can't even lie, dude. That felt to actually relapse. That was one of the best feelings ever physically. But then following the consequences relapse, it just wasn't worth it at all. And that girl was like, ugh, you know, it's like, what in the world, man? Like, but then I went to the Dominican Republic. You saw the Dominican Republic, relapsed again. And this is how I know it's like, dude, oh, this is crazy. Because I relapsed with that girl like 5 or 6 times. And dude, literally right after I relapsed, a couple times, because it's like if you go 250 days and you just relapse once, you could almost bounce back in a couple days in terms of like, you know what I mean, you're good to go. Now bad things might still happen as punishment, the consequences of your actions, but you could at least bounce back. But the worst you could do is when you relapse, you go in a perpetual state of relapse, which is what I was doing with this girl. Because I was just like, we were chilling together for like a couple days while I was there in the Dominican. And then, dude, I literally relapsed. And dude, I was literally sick for like 3 weeks straight. I was gonna make some videos like right after returning from the Dominican about relapsing, but for one, I didn't even want to get on camera because you get all like social anxiety or you get all shameful or whatever, guilty. But then on top of it, I was so sick, I couldn't breathe out of my nose. Like my nose was clogged for like 3 weeks, literally 3 weeks. I had a sore throat. Like I was literally sick for like 3 weeks following the relapse. And then the car thing happened where I had to replace the whole entire engine. And so I'm literally just like, dude, this is 100% correlated with relapse and semen retention. It's not a coincidence, is what I'm saying. And anybody who's been on a high streak, let me know in the comments, were things going well for you and then you relapse and then everything turned to hell? Because that's certainly what happened with me. So after that happened, I literally was just like, dude, I gotta get back on retention, dude. Like, this is insane. Like, I've been sick for 3 weeks right after relapsing. I just lost my whole entire car. I think some trades went bad. I don't even remember. I tried to just black it out. I was like, I gotta move on from this. But yeah, I'll touch more. Like I said, I gotta get back out to work. So I'll touch more on semen retention and other videos. But it's literally just like so obvious when you relapse on semen retention, bad things are gonna happen. Like me personally, I got super sick for multiple weeks. I literally lost the engine to my car, which I had to replace $3,500, which by the way, I literally had to use my mom's credit card or something like that. I could not afford it. Like I was so down bad. Like, and on top of it all, like my crypto's just an absolute disaster. I don't even know. I genuinely don't even know how it's possible. How I have not made a single dollar this bull cycle, this bull run in crypto. And I think like, because that's the other thing is like, when I was on a high streak, nothing was going well either, really. It wasn't like I was having massive success or nothing. In the gym, sure, I was strong and stuff, but because I was smoking the whole time. And so when I relapsed, it just made everything worse. You have to be sober on this journey, and you have to remain on the journey. As soon as you relapse, everything's gonna get worse, even if it was already not that good. But for me personally, it was not that good because I was smoking and edging. You cannot smoke or drink alcohol or pop pills or any type of thing that's gonna alter your mind. You have to be sober and you have to stay on the journey without edging. If you're edging and you're watching porn or you're swiping on these pathetic demonic dating apps, you're not gonna see any benefits. Even if you're on 280 days, you're not gonna see, like, you're gonna get physical, like, you're not gonna have anxiety, you're gonna be stronger in the gym, but it's like you're not gonna be rewarded with financial success. a romantic success or anything like that. These girls I hooked up with, I don't want anything romantically to do with them. It was all lust. And it's like after you relapse, the post-nut clarity is insane, dude. Because I'm sitting there, I relapsed with this girl, and it's just crazy. Because you're literally just like literally, I was there one night. I was supposed to stay like with that girl for like 3 days straight. Dude, I literally had to tell her like, dude, I gotta be alone. So like, cause it was like a Tuesday night, and then the next day, Wednesday, I was like, I think I'm gonna drop you off this day. Cause I need to like have my own space or whatever. It's like, dude, that post-nut clarity is crazy, dude. Like I had that post-nut clarity and I didn't want anything to do with her, dude. Cause then you realize it's like, dang, the only reason I even got with this girl was because of super lust. It was not romantic at all. And the cool thing though about the Dominican woman and like other women outside of the US, dude, she was cooking and cleaning for me without even asking. So that was pretty cool. I never had a woman literally like, I got in the shower, I got out, she had a cooked meal ready and she made the bed, she cleaned everything. I was like, whoa, dude, these Latina girls hit different, bro. But still at the end of the day, it was all about fornication. It was all about lust. I wasn't, like, it's just, I know I wasn't supposed to do that. And it was obvious with the effects that followed. Being sick as crap. I had lost my car, like, right before going to the Dominican. So I was already like, oh my goodness. But yeah, that's it for this video. I'll be making more semen retention videos. I'll be making more videos in general, because I'm sick of seeing, like, this speed, I show speed or whatever. It's like, oh, interviewing this guy, going here, go to. I'm like, dude, how do these dorks like get super famous and they're like making millions of dollars? So why can't I do that? So I'm literally like, dude, I'm just gonna start making content, dude, because this crypto crap, I've lost everything, dude. I haven't made a single dollar. I literally genuinely thought like I would have made like a 10x by now. The altcoins haven't moved. I don't even want to look at crypto anymore. And then obviously DoorDash, Grubhub, this is not super ideal. So I think it's time for me to tap in. Even if I make a couple hundred, a couple thousand, you can grow that exponentially to where you can make thousands a month. Or you can just start going live and people start sending you super chats or whatever. I gotta switch something up, dude. I gotta do something. But really, I also need to just get sober. Oh, that was the other thing, dude. Which it's like, it ties into smoking also. And just, it's like, dude, I had 7 cavities. I went to the dentist, I said 7 cavities. Right now, I'm recovering. They had to pull a tooth out. It was bleeding all over the place, disgusting. But literally, I'm just like, dude, it's like, they said $6,000. So I already paid $3,500 to fix this car, and then I'm sick all this time, whatever. And then I'm like, I gotta go to the dentist. I haven't been to the dentist in like 3 years because I've been so down bad. I've been putting it off, been procrastinating. And I go there, I get the diagnosis. They're like, the bill comes out. They say, yeah, it's gonna be $6,000. And I'm sitting there like, bro, I mean, you're not helping the depression at all. Yeah, I thought I was gonna get some good news. It's just bad news after bad news after bad news. And dude, it's because of relapsing. And it's also accumulative. Like, the cavities didn't just magically appear like right after I relapsed, but it was all this time, all this smoking and not taking proper care of me, not being sober. If I was sober, I would have went to the dentist. If I was sober, in fact, I would have went to get my oil changed. And that whole thing wouldn't happen. It was all from smoking, which I know I should not be continuing to do, and then relapsing on retention. If you go in this lustful state, or just a flesh state, where you're feeding the flesh, it's not gonna turn out well. It's not. And I think, especially if your calling is way higher and you are a chosen child of God, because I was crying the other day when I realized, like, proof that God loves me. it was proven that God loves me, because I read this verse that said, God, what was the first word? There was two words. I forget the first one, but it said, God scorneth the children that he loves. God discipline, I forget the word. It was like, it basically means like discipline. And then scorneth. It basically means he corrects you when you're wrong. But it specifically says to children he loves. So then I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, this discipline that I'm feeling for doing all these wrong things or whatever, it's literally God correcting me because he loves me. Now, if you're going down a dark path, doing all these bad things, and you never get disciplined, that's a sign maybe God doesn't love you. Maybe it's a sign you're not a child of God. But when you literally feel like I've always said, I said, dude, the simulation hates me, dude. Why am I getting punished for this? It's because God punishes, aka disciplines, the children he loves because he knows best. You may be going down a dark path that you think is totally fine. You may be fornicating, hooking up with these girls while you're high all this time, whatever, and then you get an STD. You get HIV/AIDS from one of these girls. You get one of these girls that you actually want nothing to do with, Post-nut clarity proves that, but then you end up getting her pregnant. That discipline from God is protection, and he does it to children that he loves. Maybe I'll post a verse, I don't know, this video is too long now, I said it would be long. Because like for whatever reason, if I edit it and it's too long, like it won't even edit it. But maybe I'll actually just quote, instead of putting it on screen, I'll quote the Bible verse like in the comments. But it's literally like, dude, you being corrected, you being disciplined, that's a good thing. Because that is God showing you that he loves you. It's like a parent that says, oh yeah, go out to that party. Oh, that party's in the hood with gangbangers and drugs and whatever. Oh yeah, sure, whatever. Go do what you want. That parent does not love you as much as a parent that says, no, you're not going there. That's dangerous. You could get shot up. You could get drugged. You could get robbed. That's in a dangerous area. I know better than you. You're 15 years old, whatever. You listen to me. I'm telling you not to go there. They're doing that because they love you. I realize now, but I realized back then, I'm like, dude, why are these parents so strict? Like, one of my ex-girlfriend's dad was super strict, and I was like, dude, this guy's crazy. In reality, the most strictest parents actually love you the most because they want to protect you. That is basically the epitome of God. He puts in these laws and whatever not to like be like an authority over you, because it still gives you free will. That's the beauty of God. He doesn't force you to be a robot and follow him. He literally says, you have free will, go do whatever you want. But you could follow this path, the path of righteousness, which is going to lead to life, and seek God first and his righteousness. Seek the kingdom of God first and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Or reap what you sow. Those who sow corruption will reap corruption. Those who sow wickedness will reap wickedness. So you may think what you're doing, feeding the flesh over here, oh yeah, I'm cool, dude. I'm getting laid, dude. I'm getting drunk. Yeah, dude, let's hook up with these girls, blah, blah, blah. And then next thing you know, bad things happen. And I always noticed that. I used to always think, I'm like, dude, this simulation is rigged against me. There's no way. Like, my trade was just going to hit this, and it missed it, and then I lost my money. There's no way, like, all these bad... I'm cursed. In reality, I had the epiphany because I realized I'm not cursed. It's literally God's discipline, which is protecting me from all these stupid things that I shouldn't be doing. And God basically gives you a nudge, a reminder. He says, look, I'm going to punish you right quick to help shape you into the person I know you're capable of being. Dude, I think, honestly, I'd be one of the greatest apologetics maybe even preachers of this generation. But I've literally limited myself, and I've suppressed that true purpose of mine with constant smoking and fornication. I've said this in the past. It's like lust and this weed addiction has literally been Satan's trap to prevent an absolute warrior for Christ. Because that's deep down, I get those feelings, even though I still struggle. And even, you know, if I became a pastor, a preacher, whatever, you're still going to struggle. But it's about, are you giving in to those temptations? Because the temptations are always going to come. Or are you going to prevent them? Are you going to suppress them? If you ignore the devil, if you resist the temptations of the devil, he will flee from you. But if you keep giving in to them temptations, the devil's going to make a home in your mind, body, whatever, and he's going to be like, oh, perfect, we got him. You have to resist the temptations of the devil, and he will flee from you. He cannot dwell in you when you're righteous towards God. When you're on semen retention and you're sober and you're not relapsing, you're not edgy, you're whatever, the devil's pathetic. You stomp on that loser. He can't do a dang thing. He has no power, no authority over you, especially you got the Holy Spirit. But what happened to King David? The devil got a hold of him. He saw Bathsheba over there, and I, for one, you can't verify it, but I think she was slim thick, dude. I think Bathsheba was bad, dude. Like, he probably saw Bathsheba like, oh, snap. That booty fat. You know what I'm saying? She's slim thick. And then he told one of his guards, he said, go get her. Bring her over here. Right there. He could have resisted the temptation, but he didn't. He dug himself a deeper, deeper, deeper hole to where he ended up literally killing the husband of Bathsheba, which was one of his best soldiers. He handed him the letter that commanded his very own death. But he didn't read it. He said, give this to your other commander. The guy, I forget his name, Bathsheba's husband, he delivers it. And then the other soldiers, they read it. They say, tell that guy to go up to the front to where he's murdered in the battlefield. And King David was even like, actually, because he came home first, he said, hey, he tried to get him drunk and he tried to get him to go sleep with his wife because he found out he impregnated Bathsheba. And then instead of doing that, he was so loyal. He was so loyal to King David. He said, I can't do that. It's wartime. I gotta go. I gotta be focused. I gotta battle. We gotta win this war for you, King David. Little did he know King David was banging his wife, and he literally gave him the command written in a letter to have him killed. At any moment, King David could have shut down the devil's temptations and resisted it. He chose not to. Once again, relapsing on semen retention. Literally, he's committed adultery with this other man's wife. Complete catastrophe happened. God was angry with King David to where he said, your firstborn son, he's dying. Now, he went to heaven because all children go to heaven if they die. So King David's firstborn child that he had with Bathsheba, he died. And he went to heaven. And that's how one of the reasons we know that children go to heaven, because he said, I will be with that child in heaven. But the point is, he got punished for his, actions. You have negative consequences for your actions. So when you disobey God, bad things happen. That was the case with me. It ended up being 30 minutes again. Oh well. I could be getting too deep out here. That's why I think I should just be a streamer and just go live and do like a 2-hour show every day or something like that. Because I genuinely feel like I could pop off on this, dude. Like I'll start reacting to stuff. I feel like I could pop off. But I'll talk to you guys later. I'm so broke right now, dude. Like, it's like all my crypto is just, I don't even want to think about it. I haven't even looked at it. Like, I used to look at it every single day, just nonstop. I already feel bad. I get suicidal looking at it. I already haven't looked at it for like a day straight, which is a long time for me. I already feel better. But I got to get back out to work. My life, it already wasn't going well because I wasn't doing semen retention the appropriate way you're supposed to do it, the correct way you're supposed to do it. Eating healthy, don't be eating all this fast food and crap while you're on this journey. And semen retention will actually help you turn away from that. I have actually turned away from that pretty good. But you can't be smoking, dude. You just can't. There's no, for me, yeah, it might be relaxing. I might really like, right now, I literally can't smoke. So this is my way to help me get over smoking again, because you can't get dry socket. You smoke on this, you can get dry socket. It's one of the worst pains ever. I'm not risking that. I'm not doing it. That is when you truly know you're addicted. If you're like, the dentist literally tells you, don't be smoking, you can get dry socket and ruin your whole thing. If you still go on smoking, it's like, dang, dude. So at least I'm not as addicted as I thought. I'm just like, I'm not risking that. I'm not doing it. I feel better, more articulate, smarter, intelligent, everything when I'm sober. And once again, I think that's my true purpose, is I'll lean into my true purpose of being this apologetics preacher, warrior for Christ, just maybe internet personality, whatever, maybe not like an actual official ordained minister, maybe just a super professional seed planter and apologist. But yeah, it's like whenever I sober up, I always notice I in sync with what I believe is my true purpose anyway. I start smoking, that's what leads to the lust. It leads to the lust. Next thing you know, I'm hooking up with this whale. Oh, she has a big butt. Ooh, like, dude, who cares? It's so stupid. You know what I'm saying? And I only think like that when I'm smoking, I'm high, I'm in a lustful state. When you're not edging, if I'm sober, not edging, dude, I don't even think about woman. I get grossed out. I'm like, ugh, vagina, ugh, it looks like some beef or whatever that stuff is called. What's that sandwich or whatever? Looks like some ham sandwich. Is like, ugh, I don't want anything to do with it. But when I'm in that lustful state, I'm entertaining it, bad things happen. And terrible things happen. I lost this whole engine of the car. I have $6,000 worth of medical bills, which we don't even need to get into, the scam and disgrace that is the American healthcare. But it's just been an absolute disaster. Right now, I have another chance to escape. I relapsed again like 2 weeks ago. We didn't get into that for another video. But so I'm at like almost 2 weeks now. But I just gotta keep it going, man. And so should you. Proof that semen retention is real is you relapse and you notice the difference. You notice the bad luck you get. In reality, it's the universe returning the energy you put out. You, the biblical summary, reaping what you sow. If you sow lust, you sow relapsing, you sow disobedience towards God, you will reap the negative consequences of that. I'm living proof, and really so are you. You know what I'm saying is a fact, because you could apply it yourself. But yeah, God bless you. 33 minutes. Did I just start talking and I just go? Yeah, I can't do these little 10-minute videos. It's too deep. Life's too deep for that. That's why I think these stupid politics. You get 3 minutes to decide the fate of the military and the world, and you get 3 minutes. It's like 3 minutes, 3 minutes. Put all the candidates on Joe Rogan for 3 hours, and let's see who they truly are. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too, life is too much for the little 30-second TikToks. You know what I mean? We need real thought out, real conversations, you know? But I'll talk to you guys later. God bless you. Stay on semen retention. Do not relapse.